peace, prosperity, and abundance. Peace, prosperity, and abundance. Welcome, Earth Goddess Gang. Y'all know what it is. And if you're a newcomer, welcome. I hope you stay. Grab your drink, grab your snacks. And we're going to go ahead and jump into the sun and the ninth house today. But before we jump into the sun and ninth house, family, as you know, we do our little pull a word affirmation word of the day out of my fancy handmade little old candy dish that I decided to deck out. So we'll randomly pull, a few. I try to make it as random as possible so I'm not really pulling the same accidentally. Ooh, I only need 3. Getting the same ones over and over again. So I'm only going to do 3 of these because I have 4 came out. Okay, ooh, okay, the first one is listen. I do not know who needs to hear this, but adopting great listening skills can be a great trait to have because, sometimes I feel a lot of things we can avoid in life if we practice active listening skills. Sometimes, people listen only to respond, and sometimes I know I've been guilty of that sometimes. So, if you are not a good listener, maybe you need to practice, and sharpen up on your active listening skills. Or you need to probably listen to your inner voice. If you're not listening to your inner voice, listen to yourself. If you are listening to yourself, make sure you're listening to your loved ones and hearing them out, or, anyone that's close to you. The next one we have here is rebirth. Hope y'all can see that. Rebirth. Okay. So with the rebirth, this reminds me of like Plutonian energy, the death and rebirth, the transformation energy. Rebirths are good. A lot of people don't consider a rebirth as positive because of, the emotional intensity that comes with, a rebirth or a transformation of things of that nature. But rebirths are definitely necessary in many areas of our life, because not only is it very highly uncomfortable to go through a rebirth, but once you transform out of that rebirth, it gives you a whole new perspective on outlook on, on life or your situation that you're in. So whoever needs to hear this, maybe you need to go through a rebirth in a certain area in your life. Don't resist the change if it comes knocking on your door. Embrace the rebirth. Okay, and our last one, it's ironic, relationships, a relationship. So, relationships, as you know, are not just romantic. You have relationships of many kinds. And, are you happy in your current relationships? If not, what steps or actions are you taking to make sure that you are happy in these relationships? If you maybe are looking to get into a relationship, so you're hoping to maybe attract a relationship to you, make sure that you are in proper alignment so that this relationship can manifest to you. All right, family, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. Okay, so we all know, the sun represents, the vitality, your ego, how you show up in the world, and we have this very strong, powerful energy sliding into the ninth house. Now, when you think of the ninth house, you think of, higher learning, education, philosophy, long distance travel, anything in the spiritual higher education realm, this is all ninth house all day, every day. Now, the sole purpose here for a sun in the ninth house is to basically embrace and express themselves on a educational or learning level. So basically, these natives will put a lot of energy towards, higher education, learning, spirituality, long distance travel, basically things of that nature. So if y'all are not familiar with what a sun and ninth house person will look like, here are a few celebs. Okay. Now, again, like I mentioned before, the sole purpose here, the whole pull here for the natives with the sun in the ninth house is to basically explore education and spirituality. Um, Careers for these natives would be basically anything in the spiritual realm, whether it's tarot, astrology, just different forms of spiritual education. These people being very good at anything basically, even if it's not in the spiritual realm, anything in a higher learning professional realm as far as in education, you know, they would excel at. Also traveling too, because the ninth house represents long distance travel. So, some natives will actually combine the two, the love of education and travel together. So you have people who may teach professionally for a living, so they may travel, and perform lectures and things of that nature. That's how they make a living as well. So, I think these natives will excel in careers where, you know, they're able to express themselves on a mental level, basically a job where they can express full autonomy. I think these people will excel at, so anything education, higher learning, travel, long distance travel. Sun and ninth house is perfect for that. Good traits for a sun and ninth house. Of course, these people are highly intellectual in many different subjects. It's not just one subject. Normally, when you find the sun and ninth house, these people are highly intelligent and not just in one area. They're very intelligent in many different areas. A lot of time, what they call them polymathers or polymaths, where like you have like the top knowledge in a specific area. So they could be a polymath. They can be very deep thinkers. They could be very helpful. People to put on projects as far as in like maybe a business partner or anything of that. Just getting their insight and their knowledge and their wisdom on something. They'll be perfect for that because they have the intellect to basically and the wisdom to give that knowledge. Now, let's go on to the negative traits of the sun and ninth house natives. Now, if this is negatively aspected, excuse that noise. These people, because they are so smart and they're very confident in their intellectual abilities, they can come off, and have that superiority complex. Like, everyone who doesn't possess the same knowledge they may feel like these people are inferior to them, or they may not measure up. Also, they can be prideful. Also, they can probably be a little bit pushy when it comes to their beliefs and things that they know, because, this is where their confidence is, and, they may run into, pushing how they believe and feel on other people, so they have to be very careful of that. And they can also be judgmental and very critical of other people who they feel may not measure up to their level of intellect, so that can be a negative trait as well. So my advice to the sun and the ninth house people is to embrace, the trait you have, to be able to absorb, so much knowledge and be able to effectively, relay that knowledge to, teach other people. That is a very great talent to have, but, to make sure you do not lose yourself in your intellect. You have to have balance. You know, there will always be a thirst for knowledge with, the sun and the ninth house natives, because the sun is directly here in the house of education and knowledge of that nature. So the thirst of knowledge will always be here. But also understand that because you have this talent here, everyone is not going to process information the same as you do, nor will they may not have the same talent and skill to maybe absorb as much knowledge and relay it in the way that you do. So try not to get caught up or lose yourself or your identity strictly in your intellect, and understand that, people may not be as intellectually inclined as you, but it doesn't mean that they're less intelligent. We all have different ways of processing information. So that was it for the Sun and Ninth House video family. Make sure you sit through the Sun and 10th House upload. Peace, prosperity, and abundance. It's your girl, Earth Goddess, aka Nikki, back with another upload, and we are talking about the Sun and 10th House family. Alright, let's hop right into it. But before we hop right into it, let's go ahead and pull from this affirmation jar. Oh, goodness. Y'all, excuse that noise because I'm not about to stop this video. I don't understand. Every time I want to record, it's just they always want to do this. Goodness. Okay. So, we're not going to let these distractions get us. We're going to get through this video. Okay. First one. Friendship. Okay. Now, friendships are very valuable. They're highly important. If you are looking to, for friendships, make sure that, you're in proper alignment and that you're using discernment, when you are looking for friends or you're dealing with current friends. How are your current friendships? Are you happy in your current friendships? Do you need to maybe change some of those friendships? So whatever situation you may be experiencing with friendships, just make sure you take a look at that. Observe, where you're standing in your current friendships. Are you happy or are you looking to start new friendships? Okay. And the second one is, I believe in myself. You got to, because if you don't, who else will? So let's talk about it. I believe in myself. If you struggle with belief in yourself or just confidence, start out with this small affirmation. I believe in myself. Say that to yourself. That's the first thing you do. Wake up every morning and say, I believe in myself. Now, the first few days, you're probably going to feel stupid as hell saying it, especially if you already don't feel like this or you don't have this belief system already within yourself. So, you basically got to reprogram your subconscious mind to believe in yourself. So, if you are having issues with that, just make sure, you look into some affirmations that will help you with, belief in yourself. And make sure, you just do things to help boost your confidence, to help boost that belief in yourself. All right, family, let's hop right into it. Okay, now with the sun in the 10th house, we all know what the sun in the 10th house represents. The sun represents the vitality, the ego, how you show up. Now it's going in the 10th house. Now the 10th house is more of your public image, your public life, your career, what you're going to do. So when you have the sun, a powerful energy going into an active house like the 10th house, a lot of the natives' purpose here is basically to explore and excel in the career and public life, and they're meant to embrace this. So a lot of the time these natives will put a lot of energy into basically making a name for him or herself, so these people are highly goal oriented, highly career oriented. We've all ran into these people or had these groups of friends where, it's all about, we call them career people. So if you're not familiar with what a sun and a 10th house person will look like, here are a few celebs. Okay, now a career for a sun in 10th house, basically anything where they can be in charge. These people do not do very well with taking orders from people. You have to understand, the sun is in the public house where it's career, how you show up. So ideally these people are not going to want to be, taking, jobs, being at a call center where they're tied to a desk or administrative work. No, they have to be in charge. They have to be actually delegating the orders and giving out tasks versus being the people who takes and receive the tasks. So careers for sun in 10th house, anything in managerial positions or supervisor positions or CEOs, anything where they can be in charge. So on a positive trait, these people, they're very outgoing. They have very go-getter attitudes. It's never a dull moment with these people. If you're looking to be around people that are highly ambitious, will probably motivate you to do some things in life when it comes to your career. You know, these people are great people to be around because they have that energy of basically just being goal oriented and basically putting all their time and energy into this public image and how people see them and how, you know, their career, what they do. So they're very hardworking. They're highly ambitious. Now, on the negative end of this, they can create false images that does not currently match their current reality. So say if they're an aspiring CEO, you know, instead of, you know, accepting that, you know, they haven't got that position yet and they're still doing the work to get there, they may paint this extravagant picture that, you know, they have this lifestyle or they have this knowledge of the CEO, you know, but they don't necessarily have it, so they can, you know, be prone to creating false images. Their personal life can suffer. Now, what I've known for the Sun and 10th house people, these are mainly the people that I gotta get the bag, you know, money on my mind, I chase money, gotta get the bag, blah, say, blah. You hear these people probably say things like that. Excuse me, y'all, please don't get mad at me because I do have to take this as my mama called and I promise I will get back to this video. Hello? Hey. Okay, sorry about that, family. The call actually was a lot longer than I expected, so I didn't go through the whole call on this video with y'all because I think it just would have been rude as hell. But I thought she was gonna be quick and she wasn't. So okay, yeah, I was greedy. I was asking about food, but anywho, so yeah, so any career for these natives would be anything in CEO, manager positions. You know, they have to get the bag, chasing the bag. A lot of the times, you know, their personal life can suffer because they're not really present in their personal life because, you know, a lot of their time, energy, and effort is being pushed towards their career and what they can do to get to the next level in their career. So it's important that, you know, the natives with the sun in the 10th house, you have to understand that, you know, your identity and your image is not solely in, you know, your career and your public life and how people see you and what your legacy would be. Even though it's highly important, do not get me wrong, it's highly important, but it's not only who you are. There are many layers to us as infinite beings. You have many different aspects to you. And, you know, this is just one wonderful aspect of you. And you need to find time to explore those other wonderful aspects of you. You know, perhaps, you know, start in your personal life. You know, what else are you good at besides, you know, getting the bag or getting the next high paying position? You know, you have to sit with yourself and, you know, find those other gifts and gems in life, and that, you know, it may not just come only from your career and external sources. So just make sure to be mindful of this and not make sure to create false images that do not match your reality. So that was it for the Sun and 10th house family. Make sure if you have any interest in any handcrafted candles, make sure you slide over to Earth Goddess _candles on Instagram, and I will see you all on the next upload.